Okay, I'm going to take you through a Kubota L35 high-level overview of the usage of the controls and various options. These machines are great. They are probably one of the best L-series Kubotas probably ever made. I'll go that far with these. They are extremely durable, and everybody loves them, right? So let's get into it. So if you approach the machine from the right side, you're going to have your dynamic throttle. This is like your throttle for the RPMs on the engine, right? You use this as a gas pedal once you're in gear and moving. You've got your brakes, left and right, and they're interlocked with a simple lever. You can unlock that and only operate one side at a time. People like to do that because you can turn a lot easier if you're turning left or right with one of the brakes on at the same time. However, most common is to keep these always locked. You have your parking brake lever, so you press that brake and you would pull up on this parking brake lever and it just locks it in the position you leave it in. You've got your PTO lever, this guy here. This guy will engage the rear PTO. It'll disengage it like it is in this position. You pull it out to engage it. You've got your steering column adjustment. This lever goes down. Steering column comes back and goes forward. This is a fuel shutoff. This is only used if your electronic solenoid for the fuel shutoff is not working. Let's say you turn the engine off on the machine, it doesn't stop running. This is your backup for that, and it'll just cut the fuel to the machine. This is never really used. I'll be honest with you. Nobody really ever uses this. You only use it when you have a failure on your electronic solenoid to turn off the machine. You have your controls on the floor here. This is your differential lock in the rear. This engages both wheels at the same time if you were to get stuck. You really don't ever need to use that because these machines are heavy, especially with the backhoe on. They don't really get stuck that easily. This is your drawbar speed, in and out. In, I think, will go down faster, out will go down slower. So depending on the weight of your attachment that you have on the back, your 3-point hitch attachment, you can go up or down faster or slower based on the weight. These are your seat adjusters. This guy, you pull this guy out and the seat will go, you pull this forward. When the seat's in the forward position, the seat will raise, and then you turn the seat by using this lever here. This is the, or maybe it's this one. Yeah, this one here. This is your turn seat lever. So you move the seat up or down with this lever, unlock it with this one. This is your turn and this is your slide, okay? You've got your static throttle, they call this. You can push this up and it statically will keep the engine RPM in place where you leave it. This is mostly used when you're operating the backhoe because you want the RPMs to be higher when the backhoe is being operated. This is your drawbar up and down. So this is basically a way to bring up the back hitch, the drawbar part of it, up or down, and that's used when you have an attachment back there like a bush hog or you have a York rake. You would use that to come up and down. And then you have your 4-wheel drive lever. Down is 2-wheel drive, up is 4-wheel drive. And on the right side, you've got your glide shifter. Glide shift has 1 through 8 speeds. And on the left side, you've got your clutch. The clutch has a little hook retainer at the back there, so you can actually depress the clutch and hold it down using that hook mechanism in the back. I'm going to walk around the other side of the machine. First, this is the loader. Loader has a pretty good diagram right here, how to use the stick, up, down, left, right to curl the bucket. And on this side, you've got your reverser, your forward reverser, this is called. You would push up to engage the forward. Center is the neutral, pull back to engage reverse. And this is your light switch. You have low beam, high beam, and then you've got blinkers that always are active, so you want to make sure you don't leave those on without the key. A lot of people don't realize that. They'll jump on a machine, they hit the blinker, and they leave it on all night. Well, guess what? You're going to have a dead battery because these are always active regardless of the key. So be careful of that. And you have your fuse box over here. This is your fuse box. All your fuses will be underneath this guy. And this was the hook I was talking about earlier. You can use this to press the clutch, and you can hold the clutch in if you're working on it. You don't want to risk the machine engaging itself accidentally. That's pretty much it. You've got your backhoe controls. You got your 2 stabilizers. You got your backhoe arms left and right. And then the other thing to keep in mind with these is there's 2 transport pins. When you pull this left and right transport pin out, you're going to put it right here in this hole, and you're going to clip it right there. When you pull this up and down transport pin out, you're going to simply pull up on it, slide it out, and you're going to place it right here. And that's pretty much it at a high level. The other thing to kind of point out on these is that to get to the hood, you got to pull these little screw pins out. You unscrew these, they'll come right out. These panels will lift straight up, and they're hanging on the actual frame. So you pull your 2 pins out, one here, one on the front, and you pull this panel straight up, and you can take the panel off and work on the machine from the side. Has that on both sides. And to get to your battery, it's going to be underneath here. There's actually a battery sits behind the grill. You're going to pull your quick pin connectors out on either side. This whole assembly is going to tilt forward, and then you're going to turn these guys vertical on your grill. Once you turn those vertical, your grill then can be swung out towards you. Pull this down first, like I said, swing out the grill. The grill comes off in your hand, you put that on the ground. There's a battery behind here so you can get to the battery. And this is just a simple hood mechanism to check your radiator fluid. You can pop that open and you can check that. But that's pretty much it from a high level. There's not a lot on these that ever breaks, I'll be honest with you. If you want to check your fluid levels, you're gonna fill on this side. There's a fill for the front differential on this side, and then there's also a full screw on this side. So when you fill from that other side, on the wider side, once this starts to drip out on a level surface, you know that's full, and that's differential fluid inside the front differential. That's kind of it at a high level. There's other things you can kind of figure out on your own, like the oil filters and stuff like that. This is the engine oil filter, and there's a one for fuel filter right there. There's a fuel on-off valve too. You could turn this off when you're going to service the machine. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And hopefully this is helpful to you. Like I said, these machines are really, really good. They don't have a lot of issues, and they don't really break, which is really good. They're durable, and I can probably say that about all the L series Kubotas, the older ones at least. They're really durable, they don't break, and they're easy to work on.